Dear viewers, good morning. Welcome aboard Flair 821 with service from Toronto to Calgary. My name is Dave Buck. It's my pleasure to be your captain today, and I'm joined with Captain Amelia. She'll be doing the flying today. We're done our pre-flight preparations. Passenger boarding is almost completed, and we're almost ready to go.
Hi everybody, welcome on board. My name is Amelia Kerr, and as Dave said, I'll be flying you out to Calgary today. We're really excited to have you, and thanks for joining us. Enjoy the flight.
All right, pre-flight checklist, please.
All right, pre-flight checklist. Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Tested 100%. Nav trans and display switches.
Normal and auto.
Normal, auto. Window heat.
On.
Pressurization mode selector.
Auto.
Flight instruments.
Heading 316, altimeter 2991 inches.
Heading 316, altimeter 2991 inches. Parking brake.
Set.
Engine start levers.
Cut off.
Pre-flight checklist complete.
Check. If we grab a clearance, please.
Sounds good. And Toronto clearance, good morning. Flair 821, stand Alpha 3, request clearance Calgary, information Mike.
Flair 821, Toronto clearance, good morning, clear to Calgary, Ursel 4 departure, KSED transition, flight plan route, depart runway 23, clock 6330.
6330?
Affirm.
Okay. And ATC clears Flair 821 to the Calgary Airport, Ursel 4 departure, KSED transition, flight plan route, off runway 23, squawk 6330.
Flair 821, read back is correct, have a good flight.
Good day. Clearance, Skyless 30.
Okay, we have 6330 on the code.
Detroit.
And we will brief of the Ursel 4 departure is 5,000 set.
Okay, check.
So Ursel 4 departure off runway 23 with the KSED transition confirmed.
Confirm execute.
Awesome. Ursel 4 KSED flight plan. Alrighty.
All right, take a look at this. Here we go. So briefing threats out of Toronto today.
Home base for me.
Yeah.
But not for you?
Yeah, not for me. A little busier. Honestly, there's a lot of construction on the field, so that's just the main thing to watch out for. We'll just make sure we do double check our taxi route and follow instructions.
Perfect.
Expecting a pushback here from Alpha 3. And let me just pull up this page. So Alpha 3, it's going to be pushed back, likely lane 1, holding short Alpha Tango for ground. Once we're over to ground, we'll taxi up Alpha Hotel and hold short runway 23. We'll use departure numbers off of Hotel.
Yep, perfect.
We're departing via the Ursel 4 departure. That's on page 10-3 Quebec 3 and effective May 19th. It's RNAV SID. So some notes here. The airport elevation is 569, transition altitude is 18,000 feet. Radar is required. Caution, there's simultaneous potential for simultaneous departures in use. Safe altitude 100 miles is 4,900 feet. This is for jet aircraft only, and we have a 1 mile sensitivity. Noise abatement procedures. So it's we'll just do a standard NADP 2. Sound good to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And SID rating shall be followed to 3,600 feet above sea level. If you want to look in the box, I'll just read the points here.
Alrighty.
So it's off runway 23, unless otherwise assigned by ATC. It's climb a heading of 237 to 1,100 feet. And climbing right turn, heading 245, or as assigned, expect radar vectors to Tillam, or as assigned, then proceed by the depicted route. Maintain 5,000 feet. And waypoints off there, we'll have Tillam, Ursel, followed by KSED with the KSED transition.
Excellent.
Engine out procedures off runway 23. I'll just double check that. There's no emergency turnout required, so yeah, we'll do our emergency briefing, but if we have an engine failure and departure, we'll just follow the runway track.
Excellent.
Straight out up to 5,000.
Perfect. All right, I'm just going to set this to 237. Set 5,000.
Perfect.
Ready for emergency brief?
Ready.
All right, any malfunction below 80 knots will be standard reject. Any malfunction above 80 knots, so reject for engine fire, failure, loss of control, or wind shear. Whoever notices a malfunction will clearly call it out. I'll call reject or continue. If the call is reject, I will close the thrust levers, disengage the auto throttle, apply or monitor maximum braking, raise the speed brakes, and apply maximum reverse thrust consistent with conditions. It's a dry runway, so plan to use maximum reverse.
Check.
We'll bring the aircraft to a stop. I'll stow the speed brake, set the parking brake, PA to the cabin. This is the captain speaking. Remain seated, remain seated. And at that point, we'll do any checklist that's required.
Okay, sounds good.
If any failure leads us to an evacuation, we'll initiate the evacuation checklist.
Understood. I'm going to note the reject speed, verify thrust levers closed, auto throttle disengage, and maximum braking's applied. I'll call speed brakes up, call reversers normal, call out any omitted action items, call out 60 knots, and advise ATC. When stopped, I'll select flap lever to flap 40 and stand by for instructions.
Excellent.
In the event of engine failure after V1, we'll continue the takeoff, rotate at VR, positive rate, gear up. We'll cancel the master caution. There'll be no other callouts below 400 feet. Above 400 feet, I'll select heading cell, call out what's the problem, perform any necessary memory items as required. We'll climb at V2 to V2 plus 20 to 1,000 feet above field elevation or TOCA, whichever is higher. We'll track the flaps on schedule when the flaps have been retracted and at or above flaps up maneuvering speed. Call for a level change if the VNAV is not engaged for some reason. We'll select maximum continuous thrust and call for the appropriate non-normal checklist.
Sounds great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning from the flight deck. Captain speaking. My name is Dave Buck, and it's my pleasure to welcome you on board Flair 821 with service to Calgary. Joining me up here on the flight deck is Captain Amelia Kerr, and in charge of your safety and comfort in cabin is in Flight Director Yvonne. We're spending the last of our paperwork. Should be on our way here very shortly, planning for an on-time departure. Fairly quick taxi for runway 23, and once we're in the air, 3 hours and 34 minutes to Calgary at a final flight plan altitude of 36,000 feet. Weather en route is forecast to be fine. However, we do recommend to keep your seatbelts fastened when your seats, even the seatbelt signs, are off. Weather for Calgary, beautiful day shaping up, nice and sunny, but -9 and cold at the moment. Hopefully get a couple degrees warmer by the time we arrive. Amelia has the pleasure of flying you to Calgary, so she'll get back to you just before we start the descent with the latest weather and estimated time of arrival. I invite you to sit back, relax, enjoy the flight, and thanks again for joining us. All right, thanks.
Okay, before start checklist, EFB.
Airplane mode.
Airplane mode. Papers and logbooks.
On board.
On board. Doors.
Closed and locked.
Ramp fuel.
11,800 kilos required, 11,800 kilos on board.
11,800 kilos required, 11,800 kilos on board. Fuel pumps.
6 pumps on.
Cross speed.
Closed.
Passenger signs.
On.
Windows.
Locked.
Locked. MCP.
V2 160, heading 237, altitude 5,000.
Takeoff speeds.
V1 156, VR 156, V2 160.
CD pre-flight.
Complete.
Complete. Rudder aileron trim.
Free and zero.
Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Complete.
Anti-collision light.
On.
Before start checklist complete.
Thank you. Whenever you're ready, push the start, please.
Check.
Tractor 894, 2227.
2227, Tractor 894, thank you.
And apron Flair 821, stand Alpha 3, fully ready. Flair 821, apron, good morning, monitor 2227. 2227, have a great day, Flair 821.
92 short Alpha Tango,
You're on
5080.
Car 241 plus 1, give way to the inbound western at Alpha Juliet, and then hold the beam Charlie 3. Flair 821, give way to an outbound RJ, then tail south of beam Bravo 16, call taxi.
Okay, we'll give way to the RJ and then tail south, Bravo 16, we'll call for taxi, Flair 821.
This advise when we start the engine space. Ground flight in.
Ground flight, go ahead.
Advise when we can start the engine space.
Oh yeah, sorry. You are clear to start engines 2, then 1.
Starting 2, then 1, thanks. Start number 2 engine, please.
Okay, here we go. cut out.
Check. Start number 1 engine.
Check. There we go.
Thank you.
Pushback complete. You're clear to set brakes.
Parking brake is set. Cleared to disconnect. Hand signals on the right. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a safe flight.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Starter cut out.
Check. Stable engines.
Check.
Flaps 1.
Flaps 1 confirmed.
Flight control, watch yourself.
Check.
Rudder.
Check.
Air Air Canada 481 altitude.
For taxi
Canada
checklist,
481
please.
altitude lane 61.
Before taxi checklist, generators,
On.
propane,
On.
anti-ice,
Off.
hydraulic system switches,
On.
isolation valve,
Auto.
engine start switches,
Continuous.
recall,
Checked.
checked, auto brake,
RTO.
engine start levers,
Idle detent.
flight controls,
Checked.
transponder,
Transponding.
ground equipment,
It's clear left.
and clear right before taxi checklist complete.
Tug tow bar is clear. Call
Check.
taxi, please.
All right, you got it.
At apron Flair 821, request taxi.
Flair 821, hold short Alpha Tango 2165.
Hold short, Alpha Tango 2165. Have a good day, Flair 821.
All right, Amelia, clear left side.
Okay, and clear on the right.
Park brakes release.
Check. Good if I call?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. All right, so we're gonna head out off Tango, right turn Alpha, and then hotel as planned.
Okay, check. And you're clear on the right here. I'm just gonna pull up the latest.
Thanks.
Oh, she did call in the back.
I'll go left side. Yeah, I talked to her.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Cabin secure.
Great, awesome. And you're clear on Alpha on the right.
Thank you.
The only change there is the altimeter, and we got that.
Excellent, thank you.
You bet.
All right, so camera was secure. Would you like weather or terrain on your side?
I'll go with weather.
Okay, I'll go terrain and the before takeoff checklist, please.
Check. And before takeoff checklist, flaps.
1 green light.
Stabilizer trim.
6.8 units set.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Check, thanks.
tower.
Thank you.
Tower, good morning. Swoop 360 is hold chart 3 at hotel.
Swoop 360, Tower, good morning. Line up runway 23.
Clear left side.
Line up 23.
Okay, clear right, just swoop, going the same direction as us.
Thank you.
Tower, Encore 3518, heading 180.
Encore 3518, contact departure 1288. Good day.
28 today, Encore 3518.
Swoop 360, wind is 170 at 4, clear takeoff, runway 23.
Clear takeoff through 3, Swoop 360.
All set.
Morning, Toronto, dash 873, ILS.
Approaching 2-3.
Check.
Jazz 873, Tower, wind is 140 at 3, clear to land, runway 24 left.
Land to left, Jazz 873. Tower, Flair 821, holding short runway 23 on hotel, ready for departure.
Flair 821, Tower, line up runway 23.
Line up runway 23, Flair 821.
Okay, it's clear left for traffic going the other way.
Okay, check clear on the right.
Air Canada 685, Delta 4, cross runway 24 right.
Delta 4, cross 24 right, Air Canada 685.
Back on frequency.
Check. No change.
Check.
On a Tower, Jazz 615, ILS, runway 24 left.
Air Canada 685, contact ground 1219, good morning.
Grab 19, good day, Air Canada 685.
I'm just holding the brakes whenever you're ready. You have control?
Wind is 170 at 3, clear takeoff, runway 23.
Clear takeoff, runway 23, Flair 821.
Okay,
Swoop 360,
take
contact
off.
Runway 23 verified.
And 1, toga.
Check. Thrust set. $80 knots.
Check.
V1.
Rotate. Positive right.
Gear up. All nav. Enough speed.
Check.
Jazz 873, cross runway 24 right.
Cross 24 right, Jazz 873.
And 1.
Check.
Flair 821, contact departure 1288, good morning.
1288, Flair 821, good morning.
Good.
And flaps up.
Flaps up, no lights.
Check.
Departure, good morning, Flair 821, 2,600, climbing 5,000.
Flair 821, departure identified, climb 7,000.
Climb 7,000, Flair 821.
All right, so 7,000. Bravo.
Check.
Swoop 360, fly heading 150.
Heading 150, Swoop 360.
Flair 821, turn right direct Ursel, higher in about 1 minute.
Right turn direct Ursel, check the comments. Flair 821.
Alright.
Ursel, confirm.
Confirm, execute. After takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist, engine bleeds are on. Packs are auto. Landing gear is up. Flaps are up. No lights. After takeoff check is complete.
Turn left direct
Check,
dead.
thanks.
Left direct dead key, Swoop 360.
Flair 821, climb flight level 230.
Kind of flight level 230 for 821.
Okay, flight level 230.
Check.
Swoop 360, contact call center on 124.92.
2492, good day, Swoop 360.
Roger, low Rouge 1670, climbing 1.7, 5,000, altitude 3.
I think I stepped on someone there. Flair 821, contact call center 132.57.
3257 for 821. Good morning. Toronto, good morning. Flair 821, 7,200, climbing level 230.
Flair 821, Toronto Center, good day, and climb to flight level 270.
Up level 270 for 821.
Flight level 270.
Check.
Toronto, good day, Encore 3218, flight level 250. Encore 3218, Toronto Center, good day.
Good morning, Flair 821, level 213, climbing 270.
Flair 821, Toronto, good morning, climb level 340.
Climb level 340, Flair 821.
Well, sure, the rides are good so far, but recently it's starting to get a little choppy going into Minneapolis. Last guy had 34 self-tier track. Said he was right at the top, 34 constant light chop.
Flair 821, thanks for the report, we'll let you know.
Okay, so we got flight level 340, 1, 2, and then 36 in a bit. If it's choppy, looks like we can still do 36, so.
Cool, sounds good.
Want to test it out?
Sure.
Okay.
Would you like 36?
Do you want to just do it now? Yeah, sure, if they got reports.
This level 360 is available, we can take that.
Flair 821, climb level 360.
Climb level 360, thank you, Flair 821.
Alright, here we go, flight level 360. And 1, 2, 3 time. Or no, I guess I'm gonna... Yeah, makes sense. 360, confirm.
Execute. Minneapolis, good morning, Flair 821, level 323, climbing 360.
Flair 821, Minneapolis, center roger.
So close, eh?
Yeah, so close, yet so far.
Yeah. And FMC speed, VNAV path.
Check.
All right, speed windows closed.
Check.
We'll see how that is. 360, RVSM's good.
Check.
Recall's done. Hi, everybody. So we're just here cruising at flight level 360. A little bit about our departure out of Toronto Pearson. It was a pretty beautiful morning, as you saw. Our main consideration in our departure and our climb out was a change of altitude there. As you may have noticed, we originally flight planned at flight level 340, but due to turbulence that was reported in the area, we elected to go up to 360, and we were within our limitations in order to do so with the performance of the aircraft. So I just checked the wind charts to see if we take much of a penalty as a result of going higher earlier, and it's within a couple knots, so honestly, all things considered, it seems like a very good decision. We've had a pretty smooth ride so far. A little bit about myself. I started in aviation in 2005. I joined actually Air Cadets before that for about 2 years. And then when I was 19, I actually came into some money, which was life-changing for me. I had a pretty major legal lawsuit due to a personal injury that happened to me as a teenager. And I just decided to take that opportunity as a 19-year-old and do something intelligent instead of blow the cash as one might. So I elected to give myself one choice, or two choices. One which was either buy an apartment in Vancouver or invest in a career. And I elected to check out the flight schools and see what options were available to me. I found a program, quite an interesting program at Boundary Bay Airport. It was the first international Chinese training program. So I was really lucky. There was 10 students that were part of the Air China training program, and the school took on 3 local students. I was part of that program, and I was fortunate because it was a very accelerated training program. Within 3 months, I had my private pilot license, and within 6 months, I had all my commercial exams written, flight tests performed, just waiting on the hours in order to get my actual commercial license. Yeah, I wasn't a super strong student in high school, so when I started flying, I knew that this was my chance to really change my life and take opportunity and work hard. And so I went to the flight school from opening till close every single day of the week. I moved within the neighborhood of the airport, and I just dedicated every single thing I did to aviation and flying. One day, a gentleman came up to me and he just said to me, I really like your work ethic. If you ever need a job, give me a call. And that was a pivotal moment for me because it just proved to me that hard work and dedication results in success and opportunity. And so I was doing some maintenance coordination and dispatch for the flight school. About 6 months later, they laid me off just due to winter times for flight schools are pretty challenging. And I called up that fellow, and the next day I was working for him. We started up an aircraft sales and leasing company out of Boundary Bay Airport. And from there we became Western dealership for a number of aircraft brands, and we partnered with a maintenance organization as well. I became office manager at 20, and additionally I would ferry airplane from all over North America into the Vancouver area, and we lease them out to flying schools. So I realized that I was going to be a little more in the office world than in the flying world, and if I wanted to make it as a pilot, I had to get back into some more active flying roles. So I went to flight school, and I became a flight instructor, taught for 2 years, and after that I went to the Northwest Territories. I flew a Cessna 206, just doing some push flying, really fun stuff. And, you know, really fundamental stuff up in the Northwest Territories, bringing people their groceries, their mail. It was one of my favorite stories is going into a place called Nahanni Butte where the buffalo are sleeping on the runway, and you got to come in and buzz the buffalo in order to scare them off the runway. And if you sometimes they're so used to airplanes, right? So sometimes they wouldn't move, and then the neighborhood there, they realized that the plane's trying to land and the buffalo are on the runway, so they'd come out and literally slingshot the buffalo off the runway so we could land. But after my experience up in the Northwest Territories, I went to a medevac company on the King Air 200 out of Manitoba, the Paul and Thompson, for about a year as a first officer. Great experience. Really started to build up my IFR experience. And from there, I went to an aerial mapping company for about 4 years. Flew Aztec, Navajo, and Turbo Commander. It was all single pilot flying, extensively all over Canada, United States, and the Caribbean. A fantastic way to build my hours and experience. We just go and photograph a city for about 4 to 6 weeks, depending on what the project was. I got to go down to Jamaica, photograph the entire south coast of Jamaica for their new different projects that they were doing down there. And after that, that was about 10 years in the making, all of my hour building. That was what was required at the time in Canada. And then I went and got my first job flying a Q400 out of Toronto Island Airport. For about a year and a half I was there. It was a great, challenging environment to fly out of, a great introduction to commercial aviation at the airline level. And then I got my first jet job flying a 737 for another Canadian carrier. That led me up right into the pandemic times. And of course, as we all know, we experienced layoffs. So I didn't lose hope. I just love aviation. And during the pandemic, I went back to aerial surveying. So I called up my old company, and I got to go back to fly the Aztec, Navajo, and Turbo Commander, which was a real thrill. It was like a blast from the past. We're always talking about the good old days, in a sense, when we're up here flying and we share our stories. And so that was just a really neat way of revisiting it and remembering, was it really the good old days? And my takeaway was that's just a lot of hard work, but it is a lot of fun. So then I was really fortunate to be picked up by Flair Airlines in June 2021, so about 16 months ago. It's been just an amazing adventure is how I can put that. I started off as a first officer in Ottawa. I was the bottom of the seniority list when I was hired. And 6 months later, I was able to get a base in my hometown of Vancouver. About 6 months after that, I upgraded to captain. And over the last about 14 months, I've been heavily involved with the pilot recruitment team here, hiring many of the pilots that have followed right behind me in the seniority list. And so that's what I like most about this company is the great people. And I've been directly involved with some of their hiring and that kind of thing. So it's been a lot of fun, development in my professional career as a pilot.
Caution, fuel,
Yep.
the center pumps.
Yep, sounds good. And yeah, we get to do this every day. It's a pretty exciting job. So that's a little bit about my career. Thanks very much. All right, guys, so a little bit about our routing today. You can see that on here on our iPad, as well as a little bit on our ND screens here. We departed out of Toronto Pearson, Charlie Yankee Zulu, off runway 23. Climbed out on the Ursula 4 departure, and over here we just passed along in the United States along Michigan and Minnesota, and then we entered back into Canada, into the corner of Ontario, and we're just passing over Winnipeg's right here shortly. That's our present position. During our initial part of our cruise portion here, we had a little bit of cloud and some turbulence was associated with that weather, so that's where we decided to climb up another 2,000 feet to avoid turbulence. That worked out well for us. After Winnipeg, pretty much smooth sailing all the way here through Saskatchewan and Alberta, where we're landing into Calgary. It's Charlie Yankee Charlie. So we're planning to arrive via the Burco 5 arrival. You can sort of see the route here via Lada, Burco, and setting up for runway 35 right in Calgary. Well, weather in Calgary, it's just around 0 degrees, and clear skies pretty much. Expecting a fairly smooth flight into Calgary. We'll give you a little update on our flight and briefing when we get a little bit closer. We still have about another hour and a half in cruise.
Hi again, everybody. It's Dave here. Just to talk to you a little bit about what we do in the flight deck. Amelia's doing a great job navigating us across the country. So me as a pilot monitoring, I have a couple duties I need to do. Primarily, as a pilot monitor, I monitor what she's doing just to make sure we're both doing the right thing. We work as a team, obviously, in a 2-crew environment. I also talk to air traffic control and maintain a fuel log. For example, we just passed Sioux Narrows. So I put Sioux Narrows into our flight plan here. It shows that we're 2 minutes behind and we're up 400 kilos on the fuel. 2 minutes can be easily explained by a little bit stronger headwinds, as Amelia was explaining. We're up to 36,000 feet and we're up 400 kilos on fuel. So that's good. We just make sure that the fuel on board plus the fuel that we've burnt equals the fuel we had on departure, just to make sure that we don't have any fuel leaks and everything is working normally, and the weather that's forecast is actually accurate, just so we have enough fuel for arrival and destination. So as we were talking about, we're just checking the fuel to make sure that our fuel and navigation is all working. If we have a look at the FMS here, it shows us arriving with 4 tons of fuel. The minimum we want is 2.3 tons, so we're looking good there. The other thing about this max that we can talk about, if you have a look at the fuel flows here, we're currently burning just over 2 tons per hour, which for a modern jet airliner with 176 passengers on board is quite efficient. So it's a great aircraft for the ULCC model for Flair, and I think the company is very, very happy with it.
We're arriving into Calgary via the Burco 5 arrival. First thing, before we get into the details there, threats going into Calgary today. Looks like a pretty beautiful day. Wet runway conditions, we've taken that into account in our performance data. Anything that you can think of?
It's a little bit colder than normal, so cold weather corrections. to be applied, but other than that, it looks like a fairly nice day.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right. So the Burco 5 is on page 10-2 Bravo. We're anticipating it to join up on runway 35 right. It's effective July 16th. Airport elevation in Calgary is 3,606 feet. And transition level is flight level 180, 100 miles safe, 13,800, and it's for jet aircraft only. So we're picking this up here. If you want to review in the box, I'll read out the points. Burco is flight level 210 and below.
Check.
And then tow tub. Eptic, which is a max 250 knots,
check.
And Liebux max 210, 8,000. Followed by MATAV and then the vector of 165.
Check.
What we've done, and just so we briefed it, is joined it up at Liebux. If we aren't cleared the approach that we're anticipating, we'll just fly a heading of 165.
Check.
That's going to link up to our RNAV RMP Yankee runway 35 right on page 12-25. September 20th, 2019, it's RNAV approach. Final approach course, 345, set twice. Minimums at ICNAV is temperature corrected for 5,300 feet. And our RMP minimums 0.3 is temperature corrected for 4,054 feet.
Check.
Elevation we've discussed, the MSA for 25 miles around the threshold of runway 35 right is 6,800 feet. A couple notes associated with the runway authorizations required. We're both trained for that. Safe altitude we've discussed, and there could be a simultaneous runway approaches with 35 left. If we, for any reason, go off our track there, we're going to advise ATC immediately that we're unable the RNP approach. And the temperature limit for this chart, we're within limits for landing today.
Check.
So our waypoints, we've had the temperature correct. So in the box there we have Liebux at 8,400, followed by Napney at 77, Agneck at 62, ICNAV 53, and then our final approach. It's a 3-degree descent angle at a flap 30 landing of 143 plus about 5 knots, around 150. That's going to give us a descent rate of about 800 feet per minute. Expecting smooth conditions, however, it's Calgary, so we could get a little bit of wind. If we see momentary deviations down to 1,100 feet, we'll just consider that momentary and stable.
Sounds good.
PAPI lights are on the left-hand side. At minimums, we'll call continue or go around. If the decision is to go around, we'll climb to 4,100 feet and temperature corrected. We'll call that 4,200 feet. We'll have to advise ATC. Heading of 345. Then climbing right turn to 7,000 temperature corrected again, 7,100 direct to Omric as required, shuttle climb. And if we're continuing, we have auto brake set at 2. We discussed that earlier, but to bring everyone in the picture, we've put in our performance data into our OPT and taken into account our wet runway conditions and the cold temperatures. With auto brake 2, that gives us just under 7,900 feet of landing distance, and we have 14,000 feet available in Calgary. So we're anticipating using probably just around half of the runway distance there. Probably make a nice comfortable exit at Delta 4. If not, Delta 6 is fine. And we'll taxi via likely Bravo, across Juliet, and either up Hotel or Charlie into our standard gates up here.
Excellent.
I think, yeah, they gave us Alpha 16 already.
That's it, yeah.
Other discussion points, our min div for our alternate airport of Edmonton, is a 2.4 rounded up. We're landing with 4, lots of extra gas, beautiful conditions, can easily commit to Calgary.
Excellent.
Any questions, concerns, comments?
No questions, thank you. It was very
awesome.
Very clear, thank you.
Perfect, sounds good. All right, recall. Descent checklist?
Descent checklist. Pressurization land out 3650 set recall.
Checked.
Checked. Auto brake.
2 set.
Landing data.
VRF 3143, minimums 4054 barrel.
VRF 3143, minimums on the barrel 4054. Approach briefing.
Completed?
Descent check is complete.
Check, thanks.
Houston Center, good day, Flair 821, flight level 360.
Flair 21, Houston Center, a good day. Calgary to Zulu, flight runway 35 right.
35 right, Zulu, Flair 821.
Right on.
Let me get that for you, Amelia.
Thanks, Dave.
It's a pleasure.
Flair 821, one ready to descend, flight level 290.
One ready to descend, flight level 290, Flair 821.
Flight level 290.
Question 144 on port level with me on 13575.
Level 3475, what's it for T84?
3575.
3575.
All right, descend now, confirm.
Execute.
And we have VNAV speed.
Check. Flair 821 is vacating 360 for 290.
Flair 21, roger, contact center 12445.
12445, Flair 20, good day.
Activity center 13205. 3205, runway 29.
Center, good morning, Flair 821, 355, descending flight level 290.
Flair 821, over to center, Calgary altimeter 3007, descend 13,000.
3007, descend 13,000, Flair 821.
Okay, 13,000.
Check. It's a beautiful view. You see the city and the mountains. Very
Yeah,
nice.
and even these like rivers, like the terrain,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
the snow, wow.
Calgary arrival, good day, Flair 821, level 190, descending 13,000.
Flair 821, Calgary, arrival 35 right, altimeter 3007, ATIS is Zulu, descend 8,000, and sorry, what approach you pointing?
3007, descend 8,000 feet, climb the RMP Yankee 35 right via Livebuck.
Flair 821, start canceled, proceed direct Livebuck.
Check Livebuck, start canceled, Flair 821.
Okay, 8,000 feet set,
Check.
and direct live box, please.
Livebucks, confirm.
And confirm, execute.
And as discussed,
Check, yep. Transition set 3007 inches.
3007 inches, set
Speed.
and cross-checked.
Check, speed windows open.
Check.
295.
8,000 Livebucks, confirm.
And confirm, execute.
Check. Beauty.
All right, 30 miles to Livebucks, looking good.
Excellent. Almost back on profile. Perfect.
All right, approach checklist.
First checklist, altimeters.
3007 inches set and cross-checked.
3007 inches set and cross-checked. First check is complete.
Check. And speed windows closed. VNAV path.
Excellent.
I check drag required.
Check. That's worked out perfectly.
Nice, yeah.
Flair 821, clear RNAV Yankee 35 right, Livebucks transition.
For the RNAV, RMP Yankee approach 35 right, Livebuck transition, Flair 821. Great.
Sounds good. Got a good trend there. Why don't we go flap 1 and see if we can't, for 8 miles for $5. It's 20, basically 20 miles out.
Air North 701, cross 4 miles final, speed 160 knots, contact Calgary Tower, 1184.
Okay, 50 speed.
Check.
Oh man.
There it goes.
Speed 160 knots, 4 miles final, 184 North 701, good day.
Good day.
And coming up at 9,000, descending 8,000, check.
Sure. It's all coming together.
Check, sounds good. Let's go flap 5. Gotta be 210 at Livebucks. Okay, it's looking good.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna pump this up a bit. 195.
Check.
2 miles from Livebucks and 7,700.
We set the 5 crossing.
Yeah, sure, sounds good.
53.
5,300 feet.
Sure.
Yeah. Now we can close this up.
Check.
Windows closed. I'll now be nav.
Check. Good.
Yeah.
Seems to have sorted itself out there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we already got that. 5,300. Only 25 knots to lose before the final.
Flair 821, cross 4 miles final, speed 160 knots, contact Calgary Tower, 1187.
18.7, 4 miles final, 160 knots, Flair 821.
Yeah.
So 8 is 5 miles.
Check, yeah, so let's go ahead with gear down.
Check 11370
And
and 27 right.
Okay, check, thanks.
Flat 15.
Check.
Calgary Tower, good day, Flair 821, RMP Yankee approach 35 right.
Flair 821, good day, number 1 runway 35 right, vehicle on the runway, continue.
Continue, Flair 821.
And flap 30, the landing checklist. We're about 2 miles from McNav minimums, all set.
Check.
4,100.
Check. Flap 30.
Check. Landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Engine start switches.
Continuous.
Speed brake.
Armed.
Landing gear.
Down.
Flap.
2,500.
30 green light. Check.
Check. And the landing check is complete. Landing clearance to go.
Check.
Air North 701, right at the end, ground will be 129.
Okay, 21.9 off the end, Air North 701.
Zikna, 5,200 feet.
Okay, check. And for the mist, temperature corrected is 4,200 feet initially, or you want to set 7,100?
Yeah, 7,000. Let's do 7,000 for now, and I'll let ETC know if you're happy with it.
Yeah, sounds good. 7,000 feet, son.
Check. Landing check is complete. Just stand by our landing clearance.
Check.
$1,000.
Stable.
Continue.
Tower, Stat 36 is off runway 35 right.
Stat 36, Tower, thanks. Flair 21, Tower, wind 1703, clear to land, runway 35 right.
Clear to land 35 right, Flair 21.
23 knots of wind here.
Okay, check. Yeah, expecting that to decrease.
Yeah.
Approaching 35 right.
Check. Okay, auto throttle autopilot, disengage.
Check.
Approaching minimums.
Check.
500. Minimums.
Continue.
Check. Down to 8 knots of wind.
Check.
$100.
Check.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Speed brakes up. Reverse is normal.
Check. And manual braking.
Check. Auto brake disarmed. 60 knots.
There we go, there's
Flair 821, exit left, Delta 4, contact ground 12535.
And that was on Delta
4,
okay.
2535.
Left on Delta 4 and over to ground, Flair 821. And ground, good morning, Flair 821 on Delta 4, first stand, Alpha 16.
Flair 821, second left turn on Bravo, taxi Juliet, hold short, Juliet Sierra.
And left turn on Bravo, taxi Juliet, hold short, Juliet Sierra, Flair 821.
Okay, so left to second left Bravo.
Check.
Just reduce there.
Straight on, clear on the right.
Check. Total clear on the left.
Ground local 3296, B9 in the ESTI spot, ready taxi for runway 35 right.
Thank you.
You bet.
3296, runway 35 right, altimeter 3007, taxi line Bravo, tower is going to be 118.7.
Bravo 118.7, on coach 296.
Approaching minimums. 500. Minimums. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Approaching minimums. 500. Minimums. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Approaching minimums. 500. Minimums. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And just watch your nail trim.
Thank you. So Zeko will be right on Juliet. Double short Juliet Sierra.
Check. Looks good. Clear on Juliet.
Thank you.
And just the APU to go.
All right, thank you. We're fairly heavy, just with all the turns on the taxi. Maybe leave both engines running for now.
Okay,
and
sounds
maybe
good.
as we get to closer to the apron, we can shut one down.
Okay. Great, 2-1, get in. And ground flare 821 on Juliet, holding short Juliet Sierra.
Flare 821, continue Juliet, Charlie, and Kilo to the ramp.
Continue Juliet, Charlie, Kilo to the ramp, flare 821.
Thanks, Juliet, Charlie, Kilo.
Check.
Clear on the left side.
All right, clear on the right on Charlie.
kilo. A slight left turn.
Check. I'll get the APU when we go on kilo there.
Excellent, thank you.
You bet. Nice, the Flair fleet's here. All right, APU's coming on.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And apron control, good day, Flair 821 on kilo for stand Alpha 16.
816, your discretion on the apron.
Our discretion on the apron, Flair 821.
All right. After the other flare should be.
Should be, yeah. That's it.
I'm gonna shut down number 1 if you're happy with that.
Yep, check.
You can cancel the associated.
You got it. That's electric associated with the shutdown.
We have ground crew, excellent.
Awesome.
Taxi light is off.
Check. And electric again associated with the shutdown.
Check.
Clear on the right.
Thank you. Clear on the left, go marshallers.
APU's on the bus.
Check.
Associated.
Thank you.
Clear on the right.
Thank you.
Associated hydraulic with the left side.
Thank you.
Nice.
Park brake said 1 red, 2 blue.
Alright. You're good.
Thank you.
Oh. Maybe it's been 2 minutes, engines are off.
Check.
All right.
When you're ready, shutdown checklist, please.
And shutdown checklist. Fuel pumps.
1 on for the APU.
Passenger signs.
Off.
Probe heat.
Auto.
Hydraulic panel.
Set.
Anti-collision light.
Off.
Flaps.
Up.
Parking brake.
Set.
Engine start levers.
Shut off.
Weather radar.
Off.
Shutdown checklist complete.
Thank you, Amelia.
You bet, thanks. Well, folks, that's us here in Calgary. Welcome to Calgary. As you can see, a little bit of snow outside, minus 10 degrees Celsius. Thanks very much for joining us on this leg of our journey, and we look forward to flying you on the next one.